bookshelves and disappeared, or rather, disappeared even more. Ankh-Morpork gradually awoke from its slumber. Something invisible and yelling at the top of its voice was passing through every part of the city, dragging in its wake a trail of destruction. Wherever it went, things changed. A fortune-teller in the Street of Cunning Artificers heard the footsteps run across her bedroom floor and found her crystal ball had turned into a little glass sphere with a cottage in it, plus snowflakes. In a quiet corner of the Mended Drum Tavern, where Helena the henna-haired Harridan, Red Sharon, and Diomi Witch of the Night were meeting for some girl talk and a game of canasta, all the drinks turned into small yellow elephants. "It's them wizards up at the university," said the barman. "It oughtn't to be allowed." Midnight dropped off the clock. The Council of Wizardry rubbed their eyes and stared blearily at one another. They felt it oughtn't to be allowed too. Finally, the new Arch-Chancellor, Esrolith Churn, suppressed a yawn, sat up straight in his chair, and tried to look suitably magisterial. He knew he wasn't really Arch-Chancellor material. He was 98 and hadn't really wanted the job, but he'd come down one morning to find everyone calling him Sir. Now his head ached, and he felt it was several weeks past his bedtime. But he had to say something.
"Gentlemen," he began. Sorry, and apes, of course."
The Arch-Chancellor opened and shut his mouth in silence for a while, trying to reroute his train of thought.
"It's a haunting," he ventured. "Some sort of ghost, maybe. A bell, book, and candle job."
The Bursar sighed. "We tried that, Arch-Chancellor."
"What?"
"I said we tried that, Arch-Chancellor, after dinner."
Did we? Work, did it?"
"No, Arch-Chancellor."
"Why?" "Anyway, we've never had any trouble with ghosts before," said the senior tutor. "Wizards just don't haunt places." "Perhaps it's just something natural, the rumblings of an underground spring, earth movements perhaps, something in the drains."
The Arch-Chancellor sat back and beamed. The rest of the council exchanged glances. "The drains don't sound like hurrying feet, Arch-Chancellor," said the Bursar wearily. "Unless someone left a tap running," said the senior tutor. The Bursar scowled. He'd been in the tub when the invisible screaming thing had hurtled through his room. It was not an experience he wanted to repeat. The Arch-Chancellor nodded.
"That's settled then,"
he said, and fell asleep. The Bursar pulled the old man's hat off and tucked it gently under his head. "Well, has anyone got any suggestions?" The librarian put his hand up. "Yes, well done, good boy. Anyone else?" The orangutan glared at him as the other wizards shook their heads. "It's a tremor in the texture of reality," said the senior tutor. "That's what it is." "What should we do about it, then?" "Search me, unless we tried the old—" "Oh, no, that's far too dangerous." His words were chopped off by a scream that began at the far end of the room and dopplered along the table, accompanied by the sound of many running feet. The wizards ducked in a scatter of overturned chairs. The candle flames were drawn into long, thin tongues of octarine light before being snuffed out. Then there was silence. "All right," said the Bursar. "I give in. We will try the rite of Ashk-Ent." It is the most serious ritual 8 wizards can undertake. It summons Death, who naturally knows everything that is going on everywhere. And it's done with reluctance, because senior wizards are generally very old and would prefer not to do anything to draw Death's attention in their direction. It took place in the midnight in the university's great hall, in a welter of incense, candlesticks, runic inscriptions and